I'm more of an introverted person. Like, I never wanted to be one of the people that was in front of the camera. Before we ever launched the channel, like, I would practice. Like, I would put the camera up, and I probably spent 4 or 5 months watching things I've already seen, like watching episodes of like Big Bang Theory, Martin, commercials, just anything, reacting to it. Before we ever launched the channel, I probably had 200 to 250 reactions under my belt. So I just went and locked in and practiced. After a while, it got easier.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reactorverse podcast brought to you by Passionfruit, where we interview all your favorite YouTubers in the reaction space. I am joined today by the murder whistle himself and his co-pilot Romulus. It is JL of Extraordinarily Ordinary Media Reacts.
How
JL, thank you for being here, man.
How y'all doing? Appreciate you having me. You know what I'm saying? Big fan of the show.
Thanks. I've been excited to have you on for a little while. You know, I know you've only been in the space for a couple years now, but in that short amount of time, the impact you've had with just the sort of sheer volume of material you guys have put out has been genuinely impressive. So I've been watching a lot of your reactions lately just to catch up, and it's been a blast. So I wanted to have you on here to talk about your experience with the channel, but also your experience with your channel partner, Michael Blankenship, who's helped you along the way, and how that whole thing got started. And so yeah, just happy to have you here.
Basically how I got started. We've talked about doing stuff since probably about, 2005 maybe. Cause like we just started out, like we grew up in the same area, but we never hung out with each other. Then we started playing Xbox together. We played college football, and they found out that I like writing, and Blank liked writing. And he went to film school. He ended up going to film school for directing. So me, him, and a couple of other buddies was always talk about we should do something. And then fast forward, you know how people put stuff off. Then he still ended up he went to film school. He started working for Team Action, and we was like, if that don't pan out, we could do something. I started a podcast for myself, and it really wasn't going nowhere. So then Blank has a big thing where he likes to sit there and play theme songs of movies. Like this is theme songs. Like he'd be like, guess what this is? So on Xbox, me, him, our homeboy Peanut, and our homeboy Ivan was on there one day, and he realized we hadn't seen anything. So he was like, we should do movie reactions. You know what I'm saying? I can edit for y'all. Y'all do the reactions. So me, him, Ivan, Peanut started out, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure out what we was going to call ourselves, when we was going to launch. Right. Come up with a name. And then pretty much we started out as a 3-man group. Then it just ended up being Blank over time.
You mentioned, Blank latching on to the idea. You had worked for Team Action, specifically that's Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy, who had worked with the Schmodown, which was the show I was involved in for many years. So I'm happy to hear the connection there. But when he approached you with the movies, the core of that is the idea that you guys were fresh. You hadn't seen a lot of movies. That opens you up to the possibility to share that on camera with an audience. I guess, what is your background, your personal background with film, or like lack thereof, that gave you the opportunity to be on camera?
Like, pretty much my background with film is just, growing up, I watched like rom-coms, because I didn't like violence. I didn't like seeing people sad. I just like seeing people happy. Yeah. I was more of a video game player, and I'd rather go outside and play basketball. I wasn't really big in the movies. But if I found a movie I like, I would just watch that over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
So, like, people tell me, oh man, you got to watch this. I never really cared because I just, you know what I'm saying? If it was longer than an hour and a half, I didn't want to invest the time in it. Even if it was an hour and a half, I still couldn't really focus on it. Like, I might watch 10 minutes and go do something else. Come back, watch another 5, go do something else.
Yeah.
So, I really didn't start paying attention to movies until Blank come around and start talking about writing scripts. So me and Blank started writing. Then with the whole movie reaction thing, when he realized we didn't really watch a whole lot. So the way it was going, our friend Peanut that we was talking about, we all thought Peanut would be the main focus of the reaction channel because Peanut is hilarious. Like, people who think I'm funny, I'm not as funny as Peanut. But he just didn't put in the work for it. Like, you know, so we had to make adjustments and stuff. But really, Blank has been the mastermind behind the whole thing. He trusted us. Then once everything fell off, I was like, you know, we can keep going. He's like, all right, I got trust in you. I got trust in him. So we worked long hours and just kept pushing. Going into film, I just trusted whatever he said. Like, he was like, I think we got to start here, here, and here. I said, all right, bro. You know more about this than I do. I said, I'm going to follow your lead. We going to make it do what it do.
Yeah.
So I had complete faith in Blank, and he had complete faith in me of doing what needed to be done. So,
Right. Did Blank, so Blank helps also manage, he edits the videos, also does he help manage sort of analytics and like behind the scenes channel management things for the channel?
Blank is 100% the channel runner. So, like, if we have a copyright issue, he deals with it. He edits everything. I'm starting to learn to edit so I can try to help out. But anything YouTube wise, Blank does. Like, I run all the socials and stuff like that. But everything that's purely on YouTube, like analytics, like, he'd be like, all right, well, the hotspot is this time now. We need to go start doing here. All right, that switch, so we need to start doing here. So he's always been on that. So he's like, Blank is the perfect partner for me because he's more of a get shit done person. Like, we need to worry about this. And I'm more like, all right, if it pops up, we'll deal with it then. So,
yeah,
he's perfect for me.
Yeah. Did he have to explain the reaction space to you when he brought up the idea, or was it something you were familiar with already?
I was familiar with it because we watched, he got me to watch Struggle Nation, their trailer reactions. Alonda, we found Alonda because her Scream reaction, so I used to watch Alonda's Scream reactions. We found Ashley, Late to the Party. We watched her trailer reactions. But I was familiar with it, but I was not as familiar with it as him. Because, like, where he's seen everything, he was actually watching stuff. I just watched everybody that I pretty much follow. I followed because their Scream reaction.
Yeah. And when you started, did you guys have those sort of roles defined pretty clearly, like from the beginning, or is it something you sort of had to figure out as time went on? You know, he would manage channel, you would do social media, stuff like that.
Pretty much from the get go. Back even when there were 4 of us, we decided to let Blank run the channel because when he worked for Team Action, he also managed the YouTube channel. So he already had experience with that. So we were just like, all right, well, you know what you're doing there. We'll do everything else. Then it got to the point where Ivan and Peanut's schedule, they were so busy, I decided to just pick up social media because we needed to, like, advertise and promote and stuff like that.
Right.
So where I used to work at at AT&T selling cell phones, it just became natural for me to have my phone in my hand.
Right.
So I'm always on my phone. Like, you know how like your phone give you a weekly report of screen time? Mine's is crazy because my phone is always in my hand.
Right. Same. Yeah, that's how you have to do it sometimes. Just like sort of live with that thing there, like, you know, at all times. Yeah, but the partnership with Blank is not uncommon now. As I'm getting more into the space, I know some channels have similar setups. My buddy Luis Lopez, also known as Habits Online, he is the channel manager for Steph Solari. I know Popcorn in Bed started with her husband Ben being the sort of the channel manager and helping her get that started as well, and she's being mainly the on-camera talent for that. But as things grow, yes, roles grow with it. You mentioned you're learning how to edit now for that. Were there any sort of technical learning curves for you being an on-camera presence, but also maybe for Blank as well, learning how to manage the channel and also editing and sort of like just being that sort of behind the scenes type of guy?
With Blank, if Blank didn't know something, he would ask somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't care to reach out. And Rob and Vanessa helped Blank a lot during the way, like giving him advice what to do, what not to do. And then Blank just picked up things on his own as well. For me, I'm more of an introverted person. Like, if you like was to meet me, once I got comfortable with you, you would see me as the person on camera. Like, I'm that person on and off camera. But like just going in to meet new people, I'm just kind of more like, I'm seeing what everybody like is first. Like, I'm real quiet. So I never wanted to be one of the people that was in front of the camera. But it turned out that everybody thought it was a good idea. So before we ever launched the channel, like, I would practice. Like, I would put the camera up, and I probably spent 4 or 5 months watching things I've already seen, like watching episodes of like Big Bang Theory, Martin, commercials, just anything, reacting to it. Like, before we ever launched the channel, before the first video ever got edited or recorded, I probably had 200 to 250 reactions under my belt.
Wow.
And it's a funny story with that, because the 2 friends that were supposed to be on the channel with me, I remember we all was talking about it, and I had mentioned I thought Peanut would be the best one, and I thought Ivan would be second, and then Blank and our other buddy Jonathan agreed with me, but they agreed with me so fast that it pissed me off internally. So I was like, oh, so everybody think I'm going to be the Wink Lake? It'd be a cold day in hell. So I just went and locked in and practiced, like talking to the camera and stuff. At first I used to pretend it was Blank, that I was just talking to Blank. So
that makes sense.
After a while, it got easier.
Yeah, that's impressive, man. That's some dedication to it. I really respect that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you think, say without Blank, say without, you know, that the push that you had behind you, do you think this would have been something that you were motivated to do on your own? Do you think there's like really had to be a partnership between the two of you to get this started?
Honestly, I think it had to be a partnership, because I always had dreams and aspirations to do other things. Like, I never wanted to grow up and be like a school teacher or a lawyer or nothing like that. I always wanted to do more things. But my problem was, I always thought I needed somebody else to come along with me. And I never wanted to do anything on my own. And I don't know if it was because I was scared of failing, or I just always wanted to do something with my friends. I don't know. But having Blank there with somebody with the same goals, same dreams, who, when you're not really wanting to do anything, when you're like hit one of those moods, have somebody to push you there, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? I needed that till I was able to get to a point to where I'm like, well, shit, I need to do this. Let me go ahead and get this done. I needed that. I needed that partnership.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be here without Blank.
Of course. I mean, yeah, I feel very similar in a way. I can empathize with that a lot. I mentioned my buddy Luis. Like, I've known Luis since we were in kindergarten, and we've grown up together the same way, just sort of pushing each other to do creative things. He's an audio engineer. We lived together for several years here in LA. He recently moved to Vegas a couple years ago, and we still talk every day about work and about like the process and like his channel and like the channels I'm working for as well. And yeah, just that whole endeavor is I think much more palatable for some people when you have like a partner, someone with you, sort of go through that together and bounce ideas off each other, so you don't feel like you're sort of stuck alone. You can have someone to pull you out, you can pull them out, so on. So yeah, I totally understand that and respect that. After say a few couple months of getting things rolled out, did you guys have any sort of specific strategy at first in terms of like the movies that you were going to pick to start with, or was it sort of just like polling and like blank recommendations or stuff like that?
Pretty much when we first started, we had pretty much the first 2 weeks mapped out, you know what I'm saying, just to see what that would be like. And then once we got going, it kind of turned into, okay, well, this genre did a little better, so let's try this. All right, well, this one did okay, let's try this again. So it got to the point where he started making a schedule based off the analytics that we were seeing. So if you ever like go back and look, like year one, you might see 1, maybe 2 animated movies because animated wasn't doing good for us. And everything we put up, it come off his suggestions because he's seen, like, Blank has seen like a lot of movies. Like, it's a crazy amount. Like, we always used to say that Blank could probably go on the Smowdown and least compete. You know what I'm saying? Because he has, like, he's like that with movies. But he will make suggestions, and then we will listen to what people will ask for. Well, if you watch this, maybe you'll like this. He'd be like, well, let's try this. So then sometimes it would just, hey man, I want to watch this. Well, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. Having that collaborative nature is really important. I think especially for yourself, like you said, being sort of the guy who took up the mantle to like continue this and be the sole on camera talent, having your input and toward like what you want to watch, what sort of motivates you to get in the chair to put the camera on is really important. Do you think there are any genres that you sort of gravitated towards, over the years that you started to get into this?
It's funny because starting out, I was so any horror because I'm like, listen, I'm telling you, like, I was scared of everything, and I didn't want to watch nothing horror. But I ended up having to bite the bullet because we can't just skip a whole genre of movies. So, we end up doing some horror, and I'm like, damn, I think I'm becoming a horror fan. So we end up adding Slasher Saturday because I did like slashers, and I started watching slashers. Then we started watching The Conjuring. 28 Days Later, It scared the shit out of me, but I absolutely love it. You know what I'm saying? So I've low key become a little horror nut. I'm not ready for Terrifier and stuff like that, but I like horror. like what the Saw franchise, love it.
Yeah.
It is just crazy for me to say. I know on the channel wise, people love comedies. Like they always say I got a contagious laugh. Like watching me laugh make other people laugh. But
yeah, I'd say so.
It's one of those, like, I don't know. I think I got a regular laugh, but the only thing that sucks about it is sometimes I bust out laughing and the mic can't pick it up. So it's just me just sitting here like this, looking crazy.
Yeah. But no, I totally feel that with the horror thing. When I was growing up, I also was very afraid of horror for a long time. It's funny. I just watched your Freddy versus Jason reaction a couple nights ago to catch up, and I really love that one because that's one of my favorite horror movies now, because it's what got me into horror films essentially. When that movie was coming out, I was in high school, and I was just like really interested in the novelty of that crossover, like what that meant, for the film, stuff like that. So that summer I went through and watched all the Freddy movies, all the Jason movies, and sort of built that up to like so I would understand the crossover once we got there. And yeah, so like horror, I think elicits some of the biggest emotions and reactions from you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Has it gotten easier over time to deal with like that anxiety of watching a horror movie?
Yes and no. Like it's easier. Like I'm like if we're watching something, like he was like, all right, you got this horror movie coming up. Like I might be nervous depending on how excited people get about it, because normally when the comments is like, oh my God, I can't wait for him to watch this, it's either super scary or something really gory. One of the two. So I'm just like, man, what am I getting myself into? And then like I get to watching it and I'm so into it.
Yeah.
And the jump scare happening and then come through the headphones, I'm just like, but then later on I'm like, hey man, that was awesome, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the only one I haven't want to watch again was The Exorcist. I would never watch that again. Never. That had me shook. But
Yeah.
like I'm looking forward to watching all kinds of different things horror wise.
Yeah. Do you have any advice or techniques to how to come down after that, after a horror movie? I know you watch it in the morning, so you have the rest of the day to look forward to.
Rom and Drogo. Like I'll pet them, I'll hang with them. They can tell like when I'm a little antsy, they, you know what I'm saying, hang around me.
Yeah.
But just spending time with my dogs and talking to my buddies, laughing.
Yeah, it's good advice. Yeah, do you well, because you mentioned before how you struggled with watching movies in the past when you were younger, and like it just wasn't really your thing. Like you would get into the movie and sort of forget about it and like move on. Was there any obstacle to overcome that when you started with the channel, to like sit and like dedicate your full attention to a movie and sort of be zoned in to the film to interact with it?
I thought it would be, but when we actually decided to move forward with this, me and Blank had the same goal in mind. Like our two buddies was getting into this for a hobby. Me and Blank was getting into this to make a life change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause what we was doing, we did not like at all. We hated what we was doing. And so we was looking for something to actually give us freedom. So me sitting down and having to focus on a movie, I just looked at it as, all right, pay attention, be you, give everything that you have with this, because this is your way to get where you need to be in life. This is how you can get to where you want. So once I put that in mindset, it became easy. Now, I'm not going to lie. Now, I watched Ben-Hur for Patreon. That was a long haul. Like, that was rough. Like, I had to pause it 3 or 4 times, go take a break, stretch.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for, say, someone who wants to get into maybe a similar dynamic as you and Blank? Like I said, I know some of the people who are in similar situations now, working with that in that sort of give and take dynamic where you're partners, but he's also sort of like guiding you along the way. Yeah, what would you say to people who are in that situation or trying to get into that situation in the future?
My honest opinion on that: if you're ever in a situation like me and Blank is, you have to 100% trust each other. Like, 100% trust each other. And you have to have the ability to be able to have a flat out, drag out argument. And at the end of that argument, be perfectly cool with each other. Have no issues. Like, me and Blank would get in discussion sometimes about stuff, and to the nearest ear, it'd sound like, oh my God, they're about to like split up and to stop everything. But we're just talking things out. And in the next moment, hey man, you want to play Madden? Yeah, man, let's run one. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to let ego and pride go, because you are doing something together to get something better. Like, so you just gotta be willing to talk things out and see eye to eye, meet on the equal ground.
Right. Totally. And yeah, you've mentioned a couple times, video games being, a big part of your life growing up, stuff like that. In addition to, the channel for the reactions, you also do streaming on Twitch. Is that dynamic, being live on camera, an obstacle in itself compared to the pre-recorded material, or is that something you feel more comfortable with?
I actually think being live on camera on Twitch is easier. Because like doing reactions, like I'm just, I'm just in here in the room with the movie, talking to the camera. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like, I'm asking questions, like doing reactions and stuff, and I know I can't get no actual feedback. But on Twitch, if I ask a question, in 5 seconds, I got to answer. Yeah. Like, so like they're interacting with me, I'm interacting with them. I just think it's easier. Like twitching and talking to the chat live time, it feels like just hanging out with a big group of friends playing video games. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of buddies over. It's right. I think that's a whole lot easier for me, honestly. Yeah.
So would you say you have a preference for live streaming for that aspect of things?
If I could live stream more, I would love to live stream more.
Yeah.
Like I think it'd be fun. I know between the Twitch and the gaming channel that we have, I think Twitch is funner while gaming, because sometimes the gaming channel is just me.
Right.
And like, sometimes it just seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I gotta constantly talk, but I'm talking about a game I've never played or never, so I don't know how to navigate. So like with Twitch, you could be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? How do I do this? And somebody can help you. And it feels more fun. Like it feels funner to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a big part of that is like you said, the interaction with the audience, like being able to, express your ideas and get immediate feedback, for questions and stuff like that. Has it gotten easier over time for you at all to express yourself on camera? Or do you think that's something you sort of, with the practice that you mentioned, you sort of had, locked down from the beginning?
I mean, I think it feels easier for me. Like, for instance, like, I've never cried this much in my life till I started doing reactions. And now I'll watch a movie and it's just like today, I watched War of the Planet of the Apes. I cried 20 minutes after the movie ended. just bawling my eyes out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never cried this much. But right. Like, it feels like, I guess because where I've told myself, and Blank has told me this too, you have to be you in front of the camera. Like, don't try to like fake it, because people could feel fake. Like, they can sense that stuff. Don't try to force things, because they can feel that. So me just being organically me and actually paying attention to what's going on, getting to the characters and stuff like that, like, it comes natural, I guess. It's like, because like when I first cried the first time, I was like, man, that is embarrassing.
Right.
Then Blank was like, well, do you want me to cut that out? I was like, nah, don't cut it out. You know what I'm saying? That's a real emotion. He was like, all right, bet. So once I seen people become like, oh, you cried. Like, I'm glad you showed that emotion. Most guys won't show that emotion. So I'm just cool with it now. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just second nature.
Yeah, totally. The crying on camera has been like a big thing, I'd say, since the like 2016, 2017, I think, when TV show reactions started like really coming into play, and like, those high stakes episodes, really hit people. for big moments. And yeah, I think that's big. The emotional moments, I think, is a big part of like what makes people appreciate reactions. It's because you're able to feel that sort of empathy with them as they're experiencing a movie that they like, or they're seeing for the first time with them. So I think it's really important for yourself. Like I said before, the movies are the main focus of the channel, and you have branched out a little bit with your Last of Us reactions that you did a while ago. You don't usually do TV show reactions, but you made the exception for that. You have some TV show reactions on the Patreon. Did that experience feel significantly different to you all at all? Doing a TV show where you had to sit with the characters in the story for a longer amount of time?
Honestly, the TV shows, like because we started Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, but the way my work schedule was at the time, I didn't get a chance to finish it. I'm only 3 episodes in season 1.
Right.
So I still got to catch up with that. But like with the TV shows, I think the TV shows, I enjoy the TV shows. Like The Last of Us, we done Stranger Things for Patreon, and we done the Wednesday show for Patreon. But I enjoy the TV shows because I think you actually get to hang with those people longer. So you actually get to care for these people, like, truly. Like, because with movies, it's just in and out.
Right.
You got 2 to maybe 3 hours of time with these people. A TV show, you might have a minimum of 10 hours with each character. So by the time something happens with them, you're in shambles because you're like, no, I really, really like this one. No. And it's, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like TV shows make you feel like there's more at risk because you can actually have time to bond. Like you can find out why somebody is actually that way. And like things have time to breathe. Like they don't have to leave out little things. You're like, well, I wish they would have done this. Well, they can't because that's a TV show. They have more time to do it.
Right. Makes sense.
I wish TV shows done as good as movies because we would do more shows. Like we're gonna put Stranger Things and stuff on the channel. We're just waiting for the new season to come out.
Right.
But honestly, I probably prefer shows to movies. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I hear from a lot of people is like, they prefer the long form storytelling that TV shows can provide. You just get to sit with the character longer. You get to sit with, the ideas longer and the themes of like what's going on. Those decisions, say to do Last of Us or to do potentially more TV shows, is that something that you talk out with Blank, strategy wise, or something that Blank sort of had to, come to you with an idea of like, we could try this?
We've been flirting with the idea of maybe eventually doing a TV channel because we have somebody who'd be willing to edit those for us. Because we're Blank, he already basically running 2 channels.
Right.
We've been talking about it because like I haven't seen things like The Sopranos, I haven't seen Walking Dead, stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that people are interested in that I haven't seen that it's hard to work in when you're doing the movies. I hope eventually we can do it. Like I said, we flirted with the idea with it. We've talked about it for a while. Cause we're planning on adding 2 more channels, and that will be a 3rd. So it's kind of, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot to take on, but like you said, it could be rewarding. There's obviously a lot of great TV. The same way, you've opened yourself up to film over the years. Like there's so much like great TV shows and storytelling there that you can discover and have new reactions for. I would love to see that. Honestly, I would love to see a TV show reaction series from you guys to be able to have the opportunity. And over time, like I guess how have you would you say your relationship with film has evolved, over the years that you've been doing this now?
I've learned to appreciate it more because, like, starting out, like I said, I've only watched, like, growing up, I watched stuff like Little Giants, like One Fine Day, like a bunch of rom-coms and like stuff that was geared towards kids. And you really don't really see a whole lot of great shots, setups, and stuff like that in those films. But like once I start watching things for the channel and listen to Blank and Jonathan talk a lot, you know what I'm saying, because they always mention different shots, different angles, and stuff like that. I start paying attention to it. Like you start to appreciate the beauty in films. Like what's one? Like for instance, like I said today, I watched War of the Planet of the Apes. There's a shot where Woody Harrelson walks out and he's shaving his head.
Right.
And he's right above everybody else. That's such a beautiful shot because it's just like perfect for that moment. Yeah. And then the lighting in films just are magical in some things. Like it's just, and then like there's movies that has music that's just perfect. Mm-hmm. Then you got movies like No Country for Old Men that has absolutely no music and it works. Yeah. It's just, I learned to appreciate everything about it, from the acting to the setup to scene shot to just everything.
Right.
Because before it was just a movie. Now it's like, damn, there's a lot of work into this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, just understanding how all aspects of film, is valuable to just to appreciate. And it's something I kind of wanted to touch upon too. Obviously, you run social media accounts and you help with the promotion. You on occasion post, positive affirmation stuff, on Twitter and so on, just sort of expressing ideas and like thoughts of your that you have to like keep yourself going. There's one meme that you posted a little while ago that I remember. It was a image of like a empty cup and the image of a half empty cup or like almost full cup, and it said you need to have this to appreciate this, to have the empty cup to appreciate the almost full cup. And I but that resonated with me just because I came from a very small town, so living in LA and even just doing anything that I'm doing now, I find a lot of pride in anything that I've sort of achieved over the years. And for you, I guess you guys have achieved a lot with the channel, and it's in my opinion, very successful, how much you've grown over this last couple of years. I guess for yourself, how do you sort of quantify achievement or growth for yourself in terms of personal achievements or even just achievements for the broader aspects of the channel?
For myself, I feel like personally, where me and Blank at now, I consider ourselves very successful and very lucky because we have to tell some of our buddies this stuff. Everybody who comes to YouTube don't make it on YouTube. The algorithm can kill you. You know what I'm saying? People not showing up and sharing your stuff, liking your stuff, that can kill you. Negative comments can kill you. And it's a lot of hard work. It's a whole lot harder than you ever expected to be when you first join in. But the fact we are two kids from the belly button of West Virginia who started something and got to the point to where we have 65,000 people who is waiting to watch stuff we do is amazing. We both think we are very blessed to be where we are. Because like I said, me and him both had shit jobs before. Mm-hmm. He Ubered and I was selling cheap used cars, working 6 days a week, 8 to 8. Mm-hmm. And for us to be able to do this full time now, I consider us very successful because a lot of people don't get to achieve that goal. You know what I'm saying? It's a very small amount of people who started a YouTube channel who actually got to where we got. Like we personally know like a few people from back home who's tried, who's never got as far as we did in the first month. So we understand that we're lucky and we're blessed, but we want to do more. But if we never get any bigger, we're happy being what we are. We consider ourselves very successful now. So
yeah, I think you guys are on the way up. Honestly, in my opinion, just you've become one of my favorite channels to check out.
Appreciate
amongst the crowd that I keep tabs on. Every day. I look forward to your reactions all the time when you guys put something out. I especially appreciate the thumbnail design that
that's
you
all
guys put out
Sean.
for. Yeah,
That's all Sean.
for that. Yeah, that's really great stuff. I think you guys will probably hit that 100K, like possibly by the end of the year. So I think I'm rooting for you guys.
I hope so, because I'm telling you, when we hit it, I'm gonna be holding the plaque right here, like like Smeagol holding the ring. I'm on my precious. I'm telling you, I'll be holding. I'll be just like Gollum.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to sort of wrap things up here, I guess what would you say is the most consistent obstacle you face with the channel?
I'm gonna say for blank, just getting hit with by little studios complaining about fair use and stuff like that, copyrights. For me, it's the fact that my beard is gray. If people think I'm lying about not seeing stuff, like I normally don't care what people think, but when people find you and start personally inboxing you, it's crazy. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. So
yeah.
Me trying not to snap back at people is probably, what I'm saying, it's probably the one. Because I got jokes, but everybody don't see them as jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be tough. It can be tough to hold back sometimes. How do you feel you've personally grown over the years with the channel?
I've become more patient with things. I understand now, just because something's not doing good today don't mean in 3 months it might not hit a run just randomly. You know what I'm saying? Just out of nowhere. Because we've had a bunch of things do that. I'm more open to different genres because, like I said, I never really wanted to do horror. I never really wanted to do, I never really want to do westerns, but I'm more open to watch anything now. Because I know there's always something good somewhere. And I guess me as a person, I'm more of an open book now. Before, if people was to ask me personal questions, I would kind of give them a vague answer. But now I'm just more well, here, because this might help you along your journey. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I guess I'm just more overall open about everything.
Yeah, that's great. That's great for the space here. I appreciate that, for helping each other out. And the last question is, beyond any monetary or financial value, what is the most rewarding aspect of the channel for you?
Knowing that we have thousands of people that leave comments, that message saying that we help them get through this hard time or that hard time, that we brighten up their day. Come here. That we brighten up their day, that we make things easier for them. They don't know how they went on before us because we got them out of a dark place. Just knowing we make people happy and we're generally helping people in life. Just being us. So it's still wild to me that, you know what I'm saying, that just being blank is just making people happy like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm thankful that we can do that.
It's obviously one of the main goals here is to just bring joy to others. I think I've appreciate what you guys have done that in that department so far. We have our final questionnaire, which we give to everyone. Just 10 questions down the line for you. The first one being, what is your favorite TV show of all time?
My favorite TV show of all time,
Mhm.
either Big Bang Theory or Stranger Things.
That's a good one. Stranger Things definitely up there. We'll see how it ends next year, I think.
I can't wait.
What is your favorite film of all time?
All right, so I got 5. Scream is number 1.
All right. Yeah.
Scream, Little Giants, The Greatest Showman, The Cutting Edge, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I forgot to ask. So, Scream being an important film to you. I think what exactly did you resonate with you about Scream?
I think I love the whodunit part of it.
Mhm.
Like my mom, she was always into like mysteries and stuff, or like she likes riddles and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like I've always been drawn to that because of her. There's always been something me and her done. But like where Scream wasn't like just your average like slasher, it had like a mix of, well, who was who? Like who did this? Who's doing it? And
Yeah.
then you know what I'm saying? I think that's what gravitated to me. It's the
Yeah.
whodunit part of it.
Same. Yeah. Scream is one of my favorite horror film of all time as well. I think that's a big reason why. Like, no one's ever really replicated that same dynamic.
Hey, that's true.
Of like
True.
horror with whodunit. Yeah. And I figured that you also would like Cabin in the Woods. I watched that as well recently. Your Cabin in the Woods reaction.
I love
'cause
Cabin in
it's
the
a very
Woods.
similar dynamic. The meta commentary about like tropes and things like that. Yeah, it was very fun. Next question is, what stresses you out?
Failure. Knowing that if I fail doing what I do, that other people's livelihoods depend on me. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
Yeah.
if hey baby, like knowing if I do something, like it could cost blank, or it can cost like our other buddies who's trying to do stuff with us later on. It's stressful, but at the same time, I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, maybe that leads into the next question, which is what helps you relax.
These two,
Yeah.
and honestly, talking to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom, she can talk me down off anything.
Dogs definitely help. Mom definitely helps. What is a hobby or passion you have outside of TV and film?
Writing.
Right. Yeah.
I love to
You mentioned
write.
that before. Yeah.
I wanted to be the next Nicholas Sparks, and then Blank got me writing movie scripts.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be interested to read that someday.
Like anytime.
Yeah. What fictional character do you relate to or just care deeply about?
All right, so I got 2. Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon,
Yeah.
and Charlie Conway from The Mighty Ducks. Because Hiccup, he really didn't know his place in the world. He just knew he didn't want to do what everybody else was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he found his own thing. I felt like that my whole life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, never when I was little did I want to grow up and be anything regular. Like, I was like, well, maybe I could do like fashion, or maybe I can make music. Like, it's always like something bigger than just, I want to be a doctor or a cop or something. I've never wanted to have like a regular 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charlie Conway, because I might not be the best at anything that we do, but my team of people trust me enough to let me lead. They will follow me because they believe in me. So that
Yeah.
those are the 2.
Yeah. That's great. That's a great answer, especially the Charlie one. That makes a lot of sense. What is your guilty pleasure show or film?
Guilty pleasure, probably I cannot think of the last Step Up movie. What was that? I can't think of it.
Step Up. Yeah, I can't remember
Was it Revelations?
Step Up Revelations.
I think that one. It's the last
Yeah.
step of movie. That right there, and cooking shows like Chopped and Iron Chef. Those.
Yeah, it's a great way to pass the time. Yeah. What show or film gave you your favorite reaction experience with the channel?
Misery. Songs with the Lambs. Sounds of the Lambs, and it.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
good.
yeah, all horror. all horror adjacent films. Yeah. What show or film do you wish you could erase from your memory and react to again for the first time on camera?
Screaming John Wick.
Yeah, I would see that. Scream would be a great one. John Wick, obviously a great one too.
But I want John Wick because like the whole just seeing Keanu Reeves turn into a badass like that. I just didn't know he had that in him.
Yeah.
And then Scream.
Yeah, I love seeing. Yeah, those two great ones.
Scream. I honestly don't remember the first time. Like the first time I watched Scream, I don't remember the feeling. So I want to relive that so I can remember it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel as well. I think that was Robert's answer too from Late to the Party. And the last question here is, what advice would you give to your past self when you first started the channel?
Don't wait 20 years to start something. Have an idea, try it. Don't be scared of failure. If you fail, you can start something new tomorrow or try it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Failure is not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody don't believe in your idea, don't mean your idea is bad because it's your idea.
Right.
Well, baby.
Yeah.
He's so needy.
I think that's a great way to close it out. Dale, thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate all the insight you've been able to give us today.
Hey, I appreciate being on here, man. I'm a big fan of the show. I've watched every one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Just everything you said today is exactly what we're looking for. Just your experience and how it's helped you along the way and how I know it'll help others as well. Where can we find you on YouTube, on social media, anywhere else where otherwise?
Pretty much EOM Reacts on everything.
Good.
Except for Twitch, it's EOM_gaming1.
Got it. You can find us here on YouTube. If you follow us, please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. You can find us at Passionfruit for us on social media. You can find me at Necronic on social media as well. You can find our Patreon, patreon.com/passionfruit for us. You can also join our Discord that you can see below, passionfruit.gg, discord.gg/passionfruit. Also subscribe to the Passionfruit newsletter as well. We appreciate any numbers there. And we'll catch everyone on the next episode.
See y'all.